So it's been a while, but I promised I would be back for some special releases, and it doesn't get much more special than a Talbot release, and this one is Mont Ventoux. I think it's how you say it. It's French. This is his first lavender offering, and probably his last lavender offering, I'm guessing, because the owner does not like lavender. But one of his friends, I mention him on here all the time, Tom. He's been on his tail for a while. I guess for the better part of 2 years since he started Talbot shaving to bring a lavender forward scent. And so he finally did it, and they worked together, and this is the result. It's named after a region in France that is really famous for like having lavender everywhere. And there's rosemary and all kinds of herbal just scents in the air. So it's pretty famous. And so, Tom also has a French heritage, so he has a special affinity for France and lavender in general. And he's actually the one who got me into lavenders, and it's one of my absolute favorite scent genres in my scent wheelhouse, so to speak. So I've been really looking forward to this release since it was announced. And we'll get into the scent and what distinguishes it from other lavenders here in just a bit, so don't go away. All right, using the Simpson Chubby 2 Synthetic Badger. So as you can imagine, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward lavender for the most part, but, and I can't remember the exact percentages I was told, but it's somewhere between 75 and 85% lavender. Possibly 75 to 80%, maybe 85% lavender, and 15 to 20% rosemary. And given I talked about the other herbal scents that are in the air in Mont Ventoux, France, and so they chose rosemary to give it more of an edge and a little bit of a distinguishment and refinement from other lavenders. Now I've tried a few lavenders. I own a few. I'll just go through them real quick as I talk about this scent. This scent is, I would say it's upper medium strength. It's not as strong as Barrister's Reserve lavender, but it's up there, and it is a sharp lavender. This is not a soft, sweet lavender on top. This has more of a punch to it on top. So it's more in the vein of, if you've ever tried Barrister Man Lavender, which is a pretty much straight up lavender, but it's got a pretty sharp top. I like that one. I knew this one was coming out, so I had a friend who was just starting out, and I gave that to him as his first soap. Other lavenders, it's also similar to a lavender that's more like that one is Castle Forbes lavender. I think it's a little sweeter than Lavender though, and sweeter than this one. I like it a lot. So it's sharper than those two. The most herbal lavender I've tried is Mike's Natural Soaps. It's not as strong, at least not to my nose. It's woodier, it's more herbal. I think there's rosemary in it too or something. But it's a little more natural in my opinion, woodsy type of lavender. I like it a lot, but it's much more mellow than this is. And then you have, there's other lavenders I've tried that I've not liked as much, like Dapper Dragon's Lavender Lizard. You can smell lavender, but it's kind of faint. I don't know, it's kind of fake smelling, and they also had trouble covering up their scents, they had trouble scenting the soap and covering it with the ingredients of the soap. You can smell the ingredients of the soap just straight through it, and it's a turn off to me, so I don't really use their stuff anymore. My wife uses them still on occasion. But probably my favorite lavender is Barrister's Reserve lavender, and I've seen people ask, you know, how do you compare it to that one? And they're nothing alike, really. I mean, there's lavender in Barrister's Reserve lavender, but it's after a famous fragrance, so there's a lot more going on in it, and it's more of a perfume lavender, so there's more going on there. It's more complex. This is just straight lavender goodness with rosemary. It's sharp on top. If you don't like sharp lavenders, then maybe stick with what you know and don't go after this one. Of course, you can't, it's sold out, so There might be some aftershaves left, but as of this posting, which I think I'll be posting this on the 3rd of April, 2019. This will only be available on the secondary market. So there you go. All right. So my usual no talk passes will be foregone today, because I'm very familiar with this base by now. This is in their the same tallow V2 base that they've been using for, I think, since last summer or last spring, which was released in Buttery Brook. So if you've never heard of Talbot before, this is your first time seeing anyone talk about it, I've said in previous videos, this is a top 5 soap base for me. And it is elite on every aspect of performance. The slickness and glide. And what's left behind after the razor is passed, the residual slickness left behind, even if you add more water. And this is a very thirsty soap. You want to add water to it. During that long lathering process where I was talking about the scent, you saw how many times I added water to it to keep it from drying out. But very dense, mid to low structure lather, very shiny once you've got it dialed in, which you probably can't tell from this. Let me. Probably can't tell, but yeah. Kind of looks like yogurt. This also has an improved, ever since they reformulated this, one of the biggest differences that I noticed was the post-shave feel is a lot better than the, well, I won't say a lot. I mean, it's, the original Talbot is still great, it's still elite, but it was remarkably improved, I will say that. Gotta say, this is the best lather I've ever gotten out of that chubby brush. It's a small knot, it's synthetic too. Man, look at that. Good stuff. But Talbot is a very firm soap. I mean, when you look at it, you don't think it's going to be, but it's very firm. It goes very far. For example, a lot of soaps, you know, you have that type of rippled texturing, like where the soap's, you know, settled, they poured it. ISO is bad here. Let's do this. You can see that. I mean, I've lathered it. Usually once you lather it, that disappears and it smooths out. This remains kind of ripply for a long time. It's because the soap is incredibly efficient. It's just very firm, goes a long way. So these are 3-ounce containers, and it doesn't really look like a lot of soap, but it's going to last just as long as anything else. And it still loads easily. It loads mindlessly easily into whatever brush you're using. So I really like that. You get a less amount of soap that's just going to go as far as anything else for a good price. And in these low profile containers, which save a little bit of space, I really like that. So can't go wrong here. Keep your eye out for more releases from Talbot in the future. This was their biggest release yet. He made 110 tubs, and he usually makes less than 100. In the past, it was between 30 and 50. Now he's going, you know, going more and more out of his way to make sure people are able to get some. More people are able to get it. But once again, he's a hobbyist. He's not a full-fledged artisan. Like this, he doesn't really make money off of it. I think he just breaks even. But he also, you know, he always donates $1 a tub to the Trust for Public Land, something he's passionate about. And a lot of these soaps are tributes to natural areas around the world that he likes, or other people, or other people who have provided inspiration for other scents. Even if they don't necessarily represent those areas, they're named after monuments and landscapes and all that. So it's a really cool idea. All right, we'll be back with closing thoughts. All right, we're back. Excellent shave. One of the best lavender shaves I've ever had, to be honest. Glad to finally have a lavender scent in this excellent soap base. I know it's exciting for a lot of you out there. The guy who inspired it, Tom. You have a good friend when you have somebody who absolutely despises lavender. You convince him to make him something for you. So, props to Chad for finally doing it, and to Tom for pushing him over the years. So, yeah, great stuff. Keep a watch out on Talbot's Facebook page or their Instagram page for updates on the next release. And I think you might be able to get alerts from West Coast Shaving as well. I guess that's their sole distributor. So check them out. Please like and subscribe if you like the video. Comment below if you have anything to say about Talbot or this soap in general, if you've used it. And I will see you next time.